Hey, 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 it is Friday. Can you believe it? October 18th, 2024, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brandon Blee. So, this is Success Never Sleeps, where we, as a collective of small business owners, in particular martial arts school owners, just trying to figure out this thing called life. We create these businesses not only to create a career for ourselves, but really to fulfill a purpose, to give back to the community, to take care of our family well, to give back to our team and cultivate this thing. So when we look back at our life, we feel that we had some impact and some meaning. And of course, it must be profitable. But if it's strictly a numbers thing, then you're always going to lean into 1999 for 3 classes in a uniform. We don't want to run sales centric business. We want to run fiscally responsible businesses. Huge difference. And that'll be a big part of what we're talking about today when we get into retention 101. But let's thank our sponsors. Who do we have? We have Tusaw. I simply, again, great people, great equipment. They're branching out. They used to be strictly Taekwondo and they're moving into judo, jiu-jitsu, karate. So their bandwidth is really grown, and I'm good friends with the owners and the family, and I take a lot of pride on working with them. Market Muscle, Steven Reinstein, they have a new automated back end to help manage those leads even better, constantly pushing the envelope, My studio, they're on version 2. Again, all things I was leaning into Amplify the other day, and I'm like, whoa. And developing these AI agents that can have full-on conversations with leads based upon machine learning. The more questions it's asked and the more we give it answers, that it can grow into this something really, really substantial. And so if you're not with my studio, I highly, highly recommend it. Kids Love Life Skills. Simply, I believe the best in character development. We're expanding what we do. We've added new badges. We're moving to a subscription model. I know we've been saying we're supposed to be ready in September, but it's like wine. Sometimes you got to wait, but it's going to offer you the opportunity to have a more robust access to all these different life skills for a very fair subscription price. And if you're not teaching life skills at the highest level, especially if you're a kid-centric martial arts school, you are missing the boat. Can't be random. Can't just stand up there and say, yeah, you almost got in a car accident today, but I had awesome focus. 6-year-olds looking at you. I don't even drive a car. So it's super important that we have a very structured life skills system that parents can trust, students can trust, that your team can trust to execute, to create that high level of value that a real parent, I say real because they do their research. They do their research before they ever step foot in your school. That's the ideal lead I always want. As Steven Reinstein called them, research Rita. Cool. LC Accounting, my sister Letitia keeps me on the straight and narrow. We just finished our taxes, as we always do, extensions until October 15th. And again, we came through in flying colors, right? When I talk to a school owner that says, I haven't paid my taxes in 2 years because I couldn't afford it. Now they're coming after me. They're penalizing me. I'm 2 years behind. That's a tough road to hoe. I think your responsibility to the government is something that we should pay attention to from day one. And that's why I'm a huge advocate of Profit First. If you haven't read that book, please read that book, and then we'll have a conversation. And then, of course, Kin Creative, our newest sponsor, Kin Creative. I'm working with the boys, and I call them boys because they're young. But their ability to want to genuinely serve came out of their love for saving their family's martial arts school during the pandemic. And that sense of love is what encouraged me to rebrand them from Dojo Launch to Kin Creative. So you're looking to do social media, you need to. Some guy said to me, I used to do Yellow Pages and Valpak and door to door. And now, this digital media, I don't get it. And all of the rest. I said, I know. Well, then you should be working with someone you trust. And what more than somebody you can call family? And I believe that in the team at Kin Creative. What do we got coming up, Marco? We have It's Time, Life, Purpose. I'm so excited. Me and my wife are just going over the itinerary and where we're going to eat and some of the new things we're going to offer. I'm just excited. We just got the new journals. They're beautiful. They're here somewhere. I'll grab one if I can find one near me. So we have that coming up. The 4-day, we're at 20 right now. But you know me, I like to just, a couple more people said they want to come for 4 days. Somebody from Germany. I said, sure. So if you really want to change your life, as I say, invest in, discover your purpose, grow your school, and invest in your personal development. It's Time, Life, Purpose. The 4-day will do that. But we have the 1 and 2 day. Some people are sending their teams to Dave Kovar's boot camp only. Some are sending their program directors to Sunday just business. We're open to all of that. All of it's fine. Our goal, as I just got off the group mentoring call, is that we genuinely want to help you, grow your schools, better your lives, create quality lives, right? That's it at the end of the day. It really is. Cool. And then of course my It's Time group mentoring. I think it's affordable and the value you get for it is unequaled. Unequaled. We've been cutting our teeth with two schools. We have two schools right now that we've been working with for about 5, 6 months. So me and the team are getting the way we work together really well. We're working with these school owners. We're making a difference. And it's not easy when you're working with schools that are small, that have been doing things one way for a long, long time. There's a lot of, as they say, pre-framing, setting things up. So we want to thank them for having the confidence to work with us because they're not getting the biggest results right away. They're not getting the vanity metrics. 50 students in 30 days. Yeah, but then you lose those 50 students because your curriculum hasn't been revamped in a decade. You have no bench strength. You have no retention tools in place. So again, I think what's great about what we do with the It's Time group mentoring is we care about every aspect of your life and your business. And our goal is to help you cultivate your version of success. Cool? That was a mouthful, huh? So what are we talking about today? Man, before I do that, as you come aboard, say hello. Bob, what's happening, Bob? Jason's here. Black Dragon's here. My sister Letitia's here. If you're here, say hello, say hello, say hello. We love to give you a shout out because we share this space together collectively. And I was just in Texas at the Carlos Machado event, and I did a breakfast with Brand and a networking event. And there was a couple there that said they've been following me for years. I mean, you've never said hi to me or anything. Well, we know you're busy, but we listen to all the Success Never Sleeps and things. I said, I got to connect with you. That's just important to me. It means a lot because it's really about the humanism that separates us from the machines and all the rest that's out there. So I think we, being a human business, an interactive business, martial arts school, service based, that we need to double down on that humanism. And it's amazing how it's so normal not to talk to each other, right? And just follow one another. That's kind of bizarre, but I digress. So as you're coming aboard, long story short, say hello. So, what are we discussing today? Retention, right? Retention 101. It really is one of the most overlooked aspects of our business because it doesn't create instant gratification. It's not that vanity metric of I signed up with this ad agency, they got me 20 new students this month. That's great. How many students did you lose? Should be the other half of that, right? We're so fixated. I got 20 new students this month through this ad agency. But how many students did you lose? Okay. So I want you to write this down. All the data, because I did a whole bunch of research before I went to Texas, a lot of research. I'm big on research, but I look for sources that I believe are credible. I don't take anything at face value, and I'll ask 50 different resources. In the martial arts industry, we lose 50 to 60% of our students. That is the retention rate. Now, I know there's a few unicorns out there professing, right? Professing I have a 3% attrition rate. That means 3% of the people. Those are unicorns. They're talking about across the board, 50 to 60% in Taekwondo and martial karate. Third, BJJ has a 70 to 80%. Wow. 70 to 80% attrition rate. Right? Okay. So I believe that's something we can't just throw up our hands and go, oh, well. But I believe it's something we should be working on consistently and preparing for it. I know winter's coming up, so we're taking out the winter coats, getting the mothballs off them and getting ready for winter, right? It's the same thing here. We have good months and we have bad months. So when you're looking at that retention number, just know that. It doesn't mean I don't try to better the bad months, right? And I'm going to share how we do that. But I'm mindful that they exist. I'm mindful that they're there. I'm mindful that that's part of what we do. And I think we tend to stick our head in the sand. And because retention is something that's not instant gratification, that we just go, oh, well. and we pay no mind and we spend all our focus fixated on enrolling new students, right? But there was an old thing I learned a long time ago. I think it might have been NAPMA or some. They said enrollment, retention, and renewals. And I don't know why they called it the three R's, because enrollment starts with an E, but they just called it the three R's: enrollment, retention, and renewals. Okay. So enrollments, we've got that covered. Facebook ads, events in the community, a referral program in your school, teaching amazing classes, a trial, great trial, all that. But when we talk about retention, I'm going to ask you this question. What do you do to close the back door? Put it in the comments. What do you do to close the back door? Okay. Super important. What do you do to close the back door? And that's always been a strong metaphor because you have 10 coming in the front door each month, 10 going out the back door each month. That means you're at net zero. Your school will be in the same place it is today, a year from now, if you constantly function month in and month out at net zero. Okay? You with me? So, but I'm not going to trip hard on it either. It's the nature of our business. If you're telling me 50 to 60% of people quit in the martial arts in any given school, not the unicorns, the majority, then you got to pay attention to that, right? The best baseball hitter is like 400 something. That means he strikes out or flies out or pops out the other 520% of the time. Okay. So there's a certain amount of that we can't reconcile. But what I'm challenging you to do is create systems of retention. So you're constantly. So let's look at that word. What does retain mean? Anybody? Help me out, Letitia. Marco, help me out. What does retain mean? You can Google it, do what you need to do. Somebody put it in there. What does retain mean? Retain. What does it mean? What does it mean? Help me out. I need some interaction here. What does it mean, Marty? Retention, to retain something. Bob, what does it mean to retain? Retain. I know I keep saying that because there's a very hidden, valuable strategy mindset sitting in there. Your responses are coming slow. Here we go. Continue to have something. Okay. Continue to have something. Take a look at that. Continue to have something. Continue to have something, right? Keep possession of. Good. All wonderful stuff, right? Keep what you have to retain it. I want to keep you here. I understand that. But my challenge with that, I want to totally rewrite that disruption. Brandon is the disruptor. I'm going to flip the script on you. That you cannot keep anybody. They are not possessions. Oh, wow. Right? I can retain a car. I can put in a retaining wall so the dirt doesn't come into my backyard. I can retain the dirt on the other side of that retaining wall. I can keep it, right? I can do that. We're discussing people. And this is where the humanism ranks over the AI and all the rest. Okay. Stay with me. You can't retain people. Done. So stop it. What I'm going to say, instead of saying retaining your students, I'm going to challenge you and say invest in valued relationships. Write that down. Invest in valued relationships. Now, to really see that, what I'm going to challenge you to do is find a student in your school who's been there the longest. Do we all have one? We all have one, right? Then I want you to take them out to dinner. And I want you to cry, get on your hands and knees and tell them, I need you to be brutally honest with me, totally honest with me. I need to know why you've stayed here in this school for so long. It better not be one of your kids, or somebody that married your cousin. No way. It's got to be somebody that you can sit down with, because in there is I don't like the word customer journey. There is that relationship, that avatar. Now, there's always the variables because each relationship is unique and different. And that's another key to retention, right? Is recognizing each relationship is unique and different. And if we understand that relationship we have a better chance of retaining, right? So, what is my investment in any given relationship? Well, it's that emotional intelligence, and that's our life skill in the schools right now for our upper students is empathy, right? To understand how others feel and see things. Understand how others feel and see things. And what's beautiful about that, if I can understand how others see, right? How others feel and see things, then guess what? When I cultivate a social media post, it's not ego ridden. It's not about me, 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 me. It takes on a whole nother life. When I review copy at my website, I'm looking to really understand my avatar. And I would never just simply lean into AI or chat GPT to tell me how people are feeling and thinking in my demographic. Absolutely not, because it varies. What goes on in Shipley, Florida is a little different from what's going in Woburn, Mass, is a little different from what's going on here. Someone said to me, well, we eat cheese curds in Wisconsin. Oh, okay. So for me, it wasn't even on my radar. So if I was to have a relationship with somebody from, that part of the country in Wisconsin where they eat cheese curds, and I launched into, how about them cheese curds? I'm done. All I'm doing is grabbing data that has nothing to do with investing in the relationship. And I want a valued relationship. But there are general human emotions we can all connect on, right? We have a new ad at Kin that I think is going to do amazing. That starts out with, as a parent, there's nothing we wouldn't do for our children. And then it goes into why the martial arts should be one of the things we give them. But just that opening line, right? Think about that if you're a parent. Put it in the comments and answer that question. Is there nothing you wouldn't do for your child? Well, there's nothing I wouldn't do for my child. So, right from day one, when we create ads at Kin or you decide to run a Facebook ad, that is the beginning of retention. Okay, we're storyboarding this out, so stay with me. And if you have a question, pop it in there. And if you're coming aboard, tell me you're here. Tell me you're here. And I know this isn't, well, just give them a guarantee. Tell them you'll waive the enrollment fee today, right? Tell them that. I mean, it's not where a quality relationship will ever be built from. Ever, 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 ever. Okay, so stay with me. So that Facebook ad, that once they opt into your website, even the website, go through your website with a fine tooth comb and ask, does it say investing in valued relationships, right? Investing in valued relationships. That's what that should say. The value, the type of emotional connection, not fear based. If your kid doesn't take martial arts, you're going to be 35 living in a garage playing video games. I'm not big on fear based relationships. I'm not big on fear based marketing. None of it resonates with me at all. So it requires you to be more authentic, not as a trendy word, more transparent, right? More vulnerable, more human. It truly, truly does. It does. I was working with Marty on that brand, and they talk about never giving up. And for Marty, it's very deep. I hope you don't mind, Marty, but he didn't finish high school. So for him, that was a really big deal. And so he shares that. When I went into martial arts, it taught me that never give up. That's a real story. That's a real vulnerable man. And I want to get to know him. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. And I know we want to manipulate and create this information, so this perception, right? They say it's not a matter of lying or telling the truth, it's a matter of perception now. And I could lie through my teeth, but if you perceive it as the truth, you will believe in it. And that's scary. So, again, as you're cultivating that introduction into this is a value relationship, I want to spark an emotional connection and create curiosity. I'm asking you to please be real, be authentic, show the best sides of yourself, the most vulnerable sides in those ads in order to them to see this is a valued relationship. Why? I've opted in. Now I go to sign up for the trial. Boom. Oh, on your website, there's a testimonial. But be mindful. I saw a testimonial. It looked so fabricated. It just, and I was kind of, I'd rather that parent say, something real than not, So once they've opted in for the trial, then we begin. What type of texting do you send them? What type of email flow do you send them? We got a criticism the other day at Kin. And you know me, I'm transparent. And fundamentally, Noah Seidel had shared with me, the person had not signed up for trial. So one of our texts at Kin went like, so, you know, why are you unsure about signing up your child for a trial? And this mom came back and she texted very defensively, right? That I don't think it's appropriate, something to that effect. It was like, because the statement was shaming the mom, about her uncertainty, about being unsure. It was pulling back her covers and saying, are you inadequate? Why are you unsure? Un is never a good word, right? And you can't marry it with sure. So again, if I'm about the value of that relationship, right? I want to invest in a valued relationship. What could you say if somebody doesn't sign up for a trial? What could you say? What does Stanford, Cornell, and UC Berkeley have in common? Right? That's a did you know subject line. They all have black students that have earned black belts at one martial arts. Hey, that's valuable. Really? Wow. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Right? I know because the sales scripts tell you all you want to do is get them to sign up. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. Just get them signed up. Close the deal. Again, I'm not trying to close the deal. I'm trying to plant the seeds to invest in a valued relationship. Okay. No more retaining students. It's about investing in a valued relationship. But that has to happen consistently. That's why we have a sign that hangs in our instructor's room that says, treat every student today like it was their first day. Because if I'm going to invest in a valued relationship, I do that from day one, month 3, year 10. You're constantly investing. Why do people get divorced? They realize, this isn't a valued relationship anymore. You don't put anything into it, right? I'm taken for granted. I mean, that's human. That's a very human thing. And I think a lot of people leave our schools because we take them for granted. You're locked into a year contract. I got you, right? And that is one of the reasons culturally we do not do contracts. I would believe our retention is better. It's better. Like we lose an average of 10, I don't know, 10 to 20 students a month. Figure out what that percentage is at, 400, 500 students, wherever we're at today, right? That's pretty darn good. 10% would be 40, right? In a 400 person school, 5% would be 20, right? 5%. So my attrition rate is right around 3 point something percent at 500 students. So it's not horrible, but I don't look at that number as much as I look at what are we doing systematically to consistently invest in this valued relationship. You know how you do that? You bring value to the table. You bring value, such as this is retention 101. I can't make you practice, and I'm not going to police that. I'm not going to police that. That brings no value. Imagine if you policed a relationship you're in other than your kid who's, your kid, right? So they don't hurt themselves. Imagine if you policed every relationship. That's a waste of time and energy. But I will produce great curriculum videos with a great way to access them conveniently through an app so that you could practice if you choose, right? We will have a makeup stripe workshop at the end of every month so that you don't fall behind. See, that's me being responsible, us being responsible for our investment in this valued relationship. Can't make you practice at home, nor are we going to police that. What we will do is bring value to this relationship by giving you curriculum videos and a makeup stripe workshop. You with me? See, that's an example of how we think. Cool. Put your questions in there. All the new people coming aboard, I see you're up in the eye in the sky. Tell us hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from so you too can be part of Success Never Sleeps. Any questions, please put them in there. Another one that I think is a huge retention tool for us is our constant review of the curriculum. constant review of curriculum, right? The average martial arts student who's coming twice a week probably at least plays soccer, probably has tutoring, right? Probably plays video games, probably has to sit and watch the sister at her gymnastics class. Probably. Hey, Josh Ramirez from Oxnard Twin Dragons Taekwondo. Look forward to seeing you and your sister at It's Time Lives. They're coming out for the 4 days. It's going to be so great, Josh. I can't wait to give you a hug. It's a good kid. Josh is a good kid. And look out, man. I like to hug people. So please, nobody be offended. Or just tell me don't hug you. Right? So we're mindful of that. So the next big retention key, stay with me now, is cultivating a belt cycle that falls in line with the school calendar. God, we did one for Ralph in Switzerland where they go every, 6 or 8 weeks. They take 2 weeks vacation. It's year-round schooling. And that was that. That was no easy feat, but thank Ralph that, he was diligent, and so were I. Because why is that a huge retention tool? What it says to the average parent, I get you. I get you have a life way beyond our martial arts school, and I want to support that, right? No, you must show up on Saturday from 1 to 5 o'clock for the Black Belt extravaganza. And I was speaking at one of those things, and I was standing next to the bleachers ready to go do my thing, and this man was agitated. He was so pissed off. He's talking to his wife, whispering, I don't know what's going on. He stood up and he did like a kick or something and broke a board. Now he's been sitting here for an hour and a half because they want to upsell you to the black belt club. So they make this brand new white belt going to yellow belt, sit there for 3-4 hours, watching this whole thing where that could have been facilitated by what? Maybe a focal point in the school on the school tour, right? I'm cultivating that right now. Black and white picture is a white belt, one is a black belt, right? I can do it that way. I can send that in an email. I can do that in a social media post. But to say I don't value your time and I didn't explain it clearly and I'm going to make you sit here for 3 hours, to get you to sign up for the black belt club, that's not cool. That is not valuing the relationship at all, at all. And that's what it's centered around. So we don't do belt testings like that anymore. So at the end of 3 months, you have 6 stripes, then you go into a makeup stripe, belt testing, and review, right? It all happens in class through the month. It is not a month long. The first one falls when? April. Spring break, 1 week on, that's eliminated. So you roughly get 6 classes to review, 6 stripes, makeup stripes, test them out. Okay? In August, people are last minute vacations back to school. December, we're closed for a week. So it's never a full month. Like people go, wow, you test for a whole month? No, we don't. No, we don't. Again, working with that school schedule, though, really says, I get you, parent. I value you, parent. So I'm going to make sure my schedule works with your schedule. And that's why we have an onslaught of kids who have birthdays in July trying to do birthday parties in May and stuff because nobody's around. No one's going to come to your kid's birthday party in the middle of summer because a lot of people are unavailable. You with me? That's why putting a belt testing, and I see it at social media all the time, smack dab in July makes no sense whatsoever to me because most of our people are out of town doing different things. Okay. So that's the next big thing in retention is your class schedule for earning stripes and belt testing. You with me? Everybody with me? Okay. Hey, Virginia, what's happening from Journey Martial Arts? Next retention tool. Write this down. Know everybody's name. What would I just say? Know everybody's name. Everybody's name. I'm terrible with names. Then get better. Have a cheat sheet, write it on your arm, do what you need to do. If you want to retain people, know their name. I'm always walking into San Francisco where I don't teach and say, hi, I'm Professor Bliso, the guy in the video. What's your name? And then I make sure to say their name. And even if it's only one student at a time when I'm there so I have better focus, I cannot tell you the value of retaining a student when you know their name. You with me? Learn people's names, develop a system for it, and learn people's name. Yeah, you think, wow, how's that going to retain students? It absolutely will. It absolutely will. So, going back to the storyboard, right? We talked about investing in the relationship with I get you, I value you, and here's how we want to support you in a Facebook ad. Or it says it in the website, right? Or it sells it at your Yelp page, or it sells it when they Google and look at your Google business page. All of it should say is, I understand, I'm empathetic, here's how we can help. That's it. When you create an emotional connection of value, the potential for it being a long-term relationship is already set in stone, right? It is. It is. It is. No, it is. And I know people don't think that's tangible because what are you hearing? 50 students in 30 days or money back guarantee. They got money floating in the background, right? I don't know. They're using explosions and all of that is just smoke and mirrors. And when the day's done, that's not who I believe anybody wants to have a relationship with. Okay? And that's why from there, they opt into that trial. They're in the trial. Okay. What emails, what texts are you sending them of value so that we get a better show rate? Right? That's a big problem also. Oh, you got all these trials lined up, only half of them showed. How do we get a better show rate? Well, I believe we at least can improve those odds by sharing the investment you want to make into creating a valued relationship. Right? Retention starts from that first introduction. Facebook ad, a mom telling another mom, seeing our cotton candy machine at an event, whatever the case may be. So that's what I'm challenging you on. Retention doesn't happen after they've signed up. The foundation of retention begins from day one. From the first, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, right? You don't get a second chance. And Marco was sharing that with me. He saw two different school owners with a post at Instagram. They both used the same AI generated thing and whatever the copy was. That will never, ever promote retention to me. Ever, ever, ever. There's nothing unique about it. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing, to spark curiosity, anything. There's nothing there. Nothing, nothing. So I'd rather use a photo that's not super great of an actual class talking real talk in a world of AI and generated imagery because that does not show an investment in a valued relationship. That shows that I'm using smoke and mirrors. That shows I'm lazy. I have no story. I have no purpose. I'm nobody. I'm just like everybody else. Two different schools using the same imagery, the same blog, the same post. Don't do that. Don't do that because the more you invest in that type of vision work and telling your story in a unique way, the better chance people are going to get you and come to you for what your culture offers. And that's where that leads into that question is, why do I want to come to you versus Joe Karate down the street? That's it. Why do we choose to marry who we marry when we could marry a lot of people? What is it? Right? What is it that they brought a value to the relationship to make us say, I want to marry you? And even more so, I'm going to stay with you through thick and thin, through better or for worse, till death do us part. I've been married 17 years. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, but I see the value. I've invested in this valued relationship and I love my wife. Okay. So it's the same thing here. So now they're getting text from you, value, can't wait to see you. One of the ones we do at Kin is you make a video, you're outside the school. Hi, this is Professor Belisa from One Martial Arts. We look forward to you coming to your trial. Here's the school, just so you know where it's at. It's a landmark. Parking's really easy in Millbrae. So you're going to park here or here. Once you walk into the school, you're going to see your name right there on the front desk of the front, an acrylic sign with your name in it. Grab the handouts that are sitting there, please. And as soon as we get a break from class, we'll be right with you. And we'll always say hello when they come through the door, whether we're teaching or not. But see, that again helps create value. I know what to expect. Right down to this is what you should wear. So all the way up, and now we're talking a Terry Lee technique, who has 800 students down in Sunnyvale of potentially saying the morning of the actual trial is we're looking forward to seeing you and little Susie at 3 o'clock today. Please share again what size t-shirt she wears because we're going to have a gift waiting for her, right? Bringing more value to the relationship. I like that. I think that Terry Lee's always done that. She doesn't do any kind of digital marketing. It might have legs. It might have legs. But see, our commitment to the relationship is why we're unafraid of change. We welcome change. Again, think of a relationship. Me and my wife were having that discussion. We're not, you know, dating. We're not in the honeymoon period. We're raising kids. We're in the battle of freaking high school and middle school. So me and my wife are growing differently in our relationship together, and we welcome the change. As our kids change, so do we. We're getting older. So I think a big part of retention is welcoming that change. I cannot tell you how many students have said, "We are stopping martial arts," right? And what do we do in this industry? What does the script tell us? Set up a meeting, sit down with the parents and the kid, try to refocus, re energize, and recommit, right? And if that doesn't work, go for the jugular. Well, do you think it's the best parenting to allow your child to be a quitter, right? I mean, when I read that in a script from one of the companies, consulting companies, I was like, I'm a parent. If you ever did that to me, I would tell you to go F yourself. Who are you to tell me how to raise my parent, let alone guilt me into my parenting choices? Wow. That is retention out the door, right? And see, the other thing I think in understanding humanism is if somebody is breaking up with you that day, they didn't break up with you that day. They broke up with you months ago. They just don't know how to tell you, right? So a good retention tool is something simply automated. We take attendance in class. If you're not there, then it sends you a quick email. Hey, we missed you in class today. We look forward to seeing you at the next one. Following week, you don't show up. Hey, is everything okay? We didn't see you in class today. We miss you. Boom. Hey, you know, uh, you take attendance the third week. They're not there. That prompts a phone call. See, that's a basic system of retention that I think is healthy and one that should be employed, right? But that'd be totally go awry if you give them things like, what's wrong with you? You're missing out on class. You're falling behind. That kind of stuff is not supportive. What would be supportive when they come back is, hey, I noticed that you didn't earn stripe number 3, green stripe. I tell you what, we have a makeup stripe workshop at the end of the month. Right? Oh, you can't make that? That's okay. When we get in review, makeup stripe, and bell testing, we'll cover that stripe for you. Is that good, mom? See, little things like that, storyboarding that out is super important. Just like at the end of the summer, we're sending them emails, people that are on hold, be confident. You will get those makeup stripes. You will earn your next belt and graduate with your friends into the next level. We make that clear, just like when they go on vacation. Same thing. You make it clear. Hey, enjoy that summer vacation. We're going to be right here. We have a plan in place. So you're not stressing out. Your kid's not stressing out going, oh, my friends are going to earn their belt. I'm so far behind. I want to quit. See, so you mitigate that because the value of the relationship is right there. Okay. So we went through all the text leading up to them showing up at the school. We gave the video. We have the t-shirt. They come into the school. That trial is all on you. And it's really about listening as well as offering benefits. My team had said to me, when we asked them, what do you want your child to get out of martial arts? A lot of parents look at me like, I don't know. I don't know. I just thought it might be a fun activity. So to lead in with value and say, one of the great reasons kids enroll at One Martial Arts is because we teach them to focus and to do their very best. Does that sound like something you might be interested in? Right? No different than if you were on a first date and you go, I really like the Beatles. What music do you like? Right? Or have you ever heard of the Beatles? See, that type of engagement is not a sell. That type of engagement is here's the value we bring to this relationship. And I know a lot of the marketers will tell you nobody gives a crap about you. They only want to know what's in it for me. Now, do you think that's a sustainable relationship? Any relationship you've ever been in, they don't give a damn about your feelings. They don't give a damn about what you need. And they're just looking at their angle of what's in it for me. Do you believe that's a relationship that is of value? No. And it's not a relationship of retention. So it's super important, I believe, as long as it's not ego based, it's value based, that you put your best foot forward, right? Put your best foot forward. So they came into the school, you did this amazing trial, they don't sign up. Ooh, what happens now? What happens now? Value, 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 let it go. And then every 6 months, send them an email if you're still interested in the martial arts. But I think it's very inappropriate to send somebody 10 to 20 emails. And I know Grant Cardone is a big believer in that, and a lot of martial arts school owners will follow that, if somebody says no, no means maybe, and maybe means yes. And you're supposed to send them like 10 different phone calls and emails within a 14-day period and bombard them. I don't believe in that. You do that to me, I just unsubscribe and block you. Because if I have the information and I'm simply not ready to buy, respect that. And we should do the same. But we should responsibly, after that trial, if they don't sign up, send some very value. Hey, it was really great meeting you today. We enjoyed the trial. We hope you did too. If you're interested in signing up, remember on the handout, you have this QR code. Download the app, get signed up, and might offer a testimonial in the second email. Offer the one about what does Cornell, Stanford, and UC Berkeley have in common. Value, value, value. Then let it go. Because there's nothing worse. You can all vouch for this. Think of relationships. There's nothing worse, nothing worse than to sit there and just talk about how amazing you are without listening. We've all been on that date where all the other person does is sell themselves and tell you how amazing they are. That's not a conversation. That's like, I want to go home, right? Let me be the one to determine if this relationship will be of value. And the only way we can truly do that is by listening. What is the difference between listening and active listening? Write that one down. Retention 101, big one. Hey, Master June. What's up, sir? Karth. There you are, Karth. You better go back and watch this one, Karth. We've been going on retention. This was, by the way, inspired by Karth. Asked me about talking about retention. Okay, so think about that for a moment, folks. What name? Think about that for a minute, okay? Think about that. You with me? Okay. So, another big retention thing I'm a huge, huge advocate for is if and when somebody quits, right? We took care of the trial. The other way is they enroll. And then once they enroll, you should continue to story that out. And I'll come back to if they quit. Once they enroll, what's that journey like? Day 1, week 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5. You can map out that student journey all the way to black belt. You really can. But get ready, because life is something that happens while you're busy making other plans. Kid gets hit in the head in sparring. Oh, got to change the story, right? Kid decides they're getting bored and they want to go do Sarka. Up, change the story, right? So there's those variables too that often, as much as we want to mitigate them with some type of system or some type of process, life is just life. And I think what makes our retention, and we figured it, right? Our attrition is about 3.5%, which is pretty decent for the industry, but even more decent for a mega school like ours, right? We have pretty big schools. Is we want to be mindful. Again, it's not about retaining your students for everybody coming aboard. What is it about? Investing in valued relationships. Okay. I've got a kid who is struggling and he just, he moved into level 1 too early, but there was no other place to put him. He went through excellent kids, almost, as high as he could go. He went into beginning karate, got a yellow belt, hit a freaking wall. Boom, hit a freaking wall. And so I don't do private lessons anymore other than my virtual with Jason. And I decided to teach his kid privates, right? And it's made all the difference. He's still there, if I'm out of town, but they deal with my schedule, which is great too. He likes to be picked up and held upside down at the end of his class and walked over to his parents. I asked the parents, is that okay? They say, absolutely. Okay, good, right? So if it adds value to the relationship, I'm happy to pick up this little 6-year-old and hang him upside down and bring him over to his parents. See, but again, that type of active listening, that type of healthy boundary that I bring value, but is this of value to you? That's the big thing. And when you say to me, well, the parent needs to understand, I'm challenged by that. Because if I'm in a valued relationship and I'm investing in a valued relationship, wouldn't being an active listener on my part be extremely vital to the other person? I think so. But the healthy boundary to ask first. But that can be misconstrued. I had somebody yesterday, 17-year-old girl was on the mat instead of the mom working with her little brother in Excellent Kids. And I didn't address her. I addressed the mother. And she goes, well, you can talk to me. And I went to tell the mom this life skill was safety. We were working on safety today. And safety is there's no reason for a minor to be speaking to an adult, especially when I'm trying to teach safety to these little kids, right? To these little kids. So I told that to the mom. But see, the mom said, no, 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 no. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. But see the awareness that went into that? I took accountability. I went up to the mom and said, I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge your daughter, but she's a minor and we're trying to teach these 3 and 4 year olds that, talking to strangers is not the best deal. So see how I handled that? But that, to me, investing in a valued relationship is an awareness, constant awareness, a constant what? Awareness. That is a big part of retention that doesn't exist because we get all defensive when somebody wants to quit. So I'll lead into that now. Then I want to make sure I leave room for questions. When somebody quits our school, we do not go into the standard script in our industry of schedule a meeting. I'm going to refocus them, re-energize them, and recommit them, right? That's what they're telling us to do. And if that doesn't work, oh, go for the jugular. Do you think it's good parenting to allow your child to quit? Ah, and if that doesn't work for those of you with contracts, well, you did sign a contract and you made a commitment to be here for a year. Any of that in any type of valued relationship would never work. You might be able to cajole somebody into staying one more month, right? Or get the girl to date you for one more month, or get the man to stay in that relationship for one more month. But eventually, they will leave. They will leave. And guess what? They will never talk to you again. You'll walk into that shopping mall, you'll see that student and family, and they go the other direction. That is classic. And I know everybody here has at least had one of those stories where you see somebody in public and they go the other way. Anybody or just me? Come on, take ownership, right? So for us, when you quit, here's our retention. Please write all of this down. Write it down. Retention 101 when a student quits. First thing we do is we send you a postcard. The postcard is handwritten and it says, thank you for allowing us to serve you. If you ever want to continue your martial arts journey, we'll be right here waiting. We took out the part, the team asked me to take out the part of if there's anything we could have done better, please let us know. Right? But how magic is it in any of these romance movies when someone breaks up and the guy doesn't lose his freaking mind or the girl doesn't lose their freaking mind? They simply say, I understand. I respect you. I value you. And if that's what you need to do in your life today, I support you. Right? That's definitely the high road. But I know we're freaking out. I'm losing revenue. I'm losing revenue. Somebody's quitting. That is human. But you do not invest in valued relationships based upon fear. You want to fail in your business quickly? Run it based upon fear. Okay? Last bastion, I have a contract. You need to honor it. We're teaching commitment. Okay. Okay. So we send that postcard. Then we make your last week or two magic. We choose all your favorite games at the end of class. We're awarding you badges. We're still, supporting the parents and saying hello, all of it. Because in our school, we believe culturally the key to retention is to make sure when you come through that door, we do it with love. When you walk out that door, we do it with love. That's it. So that way the door is wide open. And we would never guilt anybody. As I shared, we had a trial yesterday. I don't know if it was this group or another group I was working with since then. She brought in the trial and he wouldn't get on the floor, right? So I invited the mom, please, we understand we're a new place, we're a new environment. Feel free to grab a seat, hang out, and watch the class. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. But see, fear would have said, if I don't get them on the mat today, I have a captive audience. They're in the school. They're not going to sign up, and I got to get my numbers so I make rent. And no. And then throughout the class, because we use a microphone, I said, for lack of a better word, I'll call him John. Hey, John, how you doing? I know you're sitting safely with mom over there, right? That's pretty cool because when we're out in public, we always stay with our parents. Why? I was teaching safety in the Excellent Kids class. So I took the life skill, value, 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 and I used it as a conversation and investing in this relationship with a student who would not get on the floor. They stayed the whole class. And at the end, mom said, well, to be honest with you, I think they're a little young. And I said, I respect that, mom. So here's the handout. We'll be right here if you ever decide you want to do another trial. And left it at that. Left it at that. Now, did I see dollar signs walking out that door? No, no. I saw investing in a valued relationship. So we've already retained that student just by making a good first impression. Hold that thought. Let's see what Virginia's saying. What if we stopped trying to retain students and we just focused on retaining relationships of trust? I believe it's like the farmer, Virginia. It'll take a little longer. It will. It will. But in the end, I believe people stay longer. I love sitting there, when a white belt class happens before one of our advanced classes, and I just look out there and say, how long have you been here? 8 years. How long have you been here? 9. How have you been here? And I'm saying, we're not just an activity for children. We are truly an investment. How many kids spend 8 years doing anything, right? So again, those type of telltales. Yeah, Virginia, I believe 1,000%. But I know it's not in line with marketing 101. Any sales guy would tell me you're crazy, you're a freaking nuts, right? But I'm a disruptor, so I'm either a lunatic or I'm a genius. I'm a forward thinker. Either one is fine with me. Either one, because at the end of the day, it's important to be true to myself as long as it's not based upon ego, narrow mindedness, and insecurity. Cool? Super important for me because I want to constantly learn and grow and serve myself, my family, the community better. Now, here's an example of the magic that comes with that thank you postcard, keeping the door wide open, treating the relationship of values. More important than you enrolling, more important than you quitting, more important than anything. The relationship of trust is number one. San Francisco, we had our tournament back in April. In walks this woman. This woman had trained with us when she was a little girl. She hadn't been with us in 10, 15 years now. She's coming into this tournament with her child, right? Her 6-year-old that's enrolled in our school. Talk about a relationship of value. They came back to us 15 years later. That speaks for itself, right? Speaks for itself. Had another child enroll in our after school program, and mom proudly said, my daughter trained in the martial arts with you 10 years ago. She quit, but because we didn't guilt her out the door and, make her feel bad and do all of those slick sales tactics, fear based, I would call them, she enrolled her child in our after school program, the sibling. On and on and on. And I can find tons of stories like that for you. Tons. Because for us culturally, for us at One Martial Arts, investing in a valued relationship is what we do, not retaining your students. I can't keep you. I can't possess you. I can't have you. This is an organic, fluid, vibrant relationship that will change. And as it changes, if I value the relationship, then I support it no matter what the change is. So going to one of our core values of gratitude, I'm grateful if you opt into our website and never sign up for a trial. But make no mistake, I'm mining the data and trying to say, what can we say better in the Facebook ad? What can we put better at the website to get you to opt in and sign up for trial? Please don't negate that. Don't negate that. I'm happy if you sign up for the trial and never show up. I'm happy if you sign up for the trial and you do show up. I'm happy if you sign up for the trial, you show up, but you don't enroll because I am grateful no matter what. And we instill that in our team. I have a friend in the fitness industry, and it's so fear based. At the end of every month, they disappear trying to make their numbers so they can get their bonus. That is not a great way to run a company that people believe in. I believe I get a bonus if I do X, Y, and Z. But do I believe in the real philosophy of this company? Do I believe in it? And that's what I'm here to share. Retention in our industry is based upon fear because you don't want to lose the students, you don't want to lose the money. For us, it's about investing in the relationship. And that feeds into getting people to believe. If I invest in this relationship heavily, at some point, you're going to trust me. And if you trust me, you believe, right? And that's what you're saying, Virginia. They will trust you. And if they trust you, they will spend a lot of money with you. But it's not that to begin with, in the middle, in the end, if they quit, it's not about that. That is a byproduct. Anything you believe in, you spend more money with. It's just a fact. Just a fact. If you believe in the magic that Disneyland offers, you'll pay $5 for that damn bottle of water you could buy at Costco for a quarter, right? It's just it. Just the way it goes. So that's why when I made the shift, no more retention. Get rid of it. It's not 3 minutes. You got a question? Pop it in there. Please, Karth, go back and watch this one 1,000 times. Let's start by getting excited. It's Time Life Purpose coming up. Going to be there for 4 days. But if you can come for one day, come for one day of business. Come for 2 days, Kovar, watching classes and business. Do that. Do that. It's such magic the time we spend together. And you know, we're always raising the bar. We're raising the bar. So put the link in there for them, Marco. 4 days, 2 days, one day. Try to get signed up for that. Our It's Time Live group mentoring, or It's Time group mentoring, I should say. Very proud of the team. I'm growing confidence as a group. We've been working with only two school owners, and I'm proud to say that Sunjay at Rita Ranch and Marty and Beth, because we're really honing our skills. And I think it was manageable. We're getting really good at what we do. I'm confident that it's something we could market on a larger scale to the industry and bring a lot of value, a lot of value. So we're grateful. This, I know Marty and Sunji are going, man, that's messed up because soon there's going to be more people, but it is what it is, right? That simply is what it is. So when the day's done, like us, I hope my example of investing in a relationship with you is not about retaining you. I don't possess you. We don't possess our students. They are not items that we keep, things that we possess. They're not retaining. You can't retain another human being. It's just wrong. Even in a mindset, in a thinking, or every which or which way, it's fear-based, it's controlling, it's manipulative, and I can't help but think if you live and die by that word retention, you aren't somewhere going to hit that slippery slope and be in a position of manipulation and control because you live in the fear of losing the revenue of that student if they quit. Make the mind shift now. Takes a little longer, but they'll stay a lot longer. And invest in the value of the relationship. Cool? All right. I'm Brandon Blease. Let's thank our sponsors. Dun, 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 Tusaw, Market Muscles, My Studio, LC Accounting, Kids Love Life Skills, and Kin Creative. All people I work with, all people I believe in, and that I have valued relationships of trust. Cool. Thank you, Marco, for holding down the fort as always. I am Brandon Blease. This is Success Never Sleeps. Subscribe to my YouTube channel where all these episodes are there, right? Subscribe to our podcasts on all the different platforms. Follow me at Instagram. Become part of our group, the Disruptors of Success Never Sleeps. For everything else, go to brandonbeliso.com. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.